We are here, Grand Finals, ladies and gentlemen, of Winter Challenge number 2 here at Cycle Turner Place in Pico Rivera, California. I am Sus Coronel. That is, once again, William Franco. We have our finalists. It's Shane Gaffney. It's Arnie Wolf. We have our matchups here. It's going to be Urshifu Rapid Strike from Shane, Kyogre, Roaring Moon, Rillaboom, Amoonguss, and Incineroar, while Arnie going to be on the Chi-Yu, Zamazenta, Raging Bolt, Fluttermane, Amoonguss, and Urshifu Single Strike.
So, Arnie has had a great tournament so far. Shane as well. It comes down to this last matchup between Kyogre and Zamazenta. And I will say, I do think the Zamazenta is in a great position.
I mean, it absolutely is, because steel fighting is really hard for Shane to hit through if the rain is up, because that's actually contradictive with your Kyogre's game plan philosophy, but Surging Strikes still does a lot of damage. Incineroar with Flare Blitz, maybe not so much.
I think one of the Pokemon from Arnie's side that I would pay the most attention to is the Urshifu Single Strike with Para Poison and Safety Goggle. So, if Shane decides to bring the Amoonguss, it could ignore Redirection and is immune to Spore.
Well, yeah, because the Safety Goggles does ignore all of that information, unfortunately. And now, we're going to get set to go into game number 1 of Grand Finals. We have to show from Arnie, it's Fluttermane Urshifu on his side of the field. It's going to be Shane with the Incineroar and Kyogre.
Okay, Incineroar, Kyogre. Incineroar already going to get the Intimidate onto the Urshifu.
Need the Photosynthesis activate as well from the Fluttermane, going to boost its speed stat as Kyogre does set up the Drizzle ability. Incineroar does Intimidate onto both the Fluttermane and the Urshifu. That's not going to matter with the Wicked Blow. It's going to matter for everything else.
Yeah, Wicked Blow, critical hit, ignoring the -1 attack stat. Now, Fluttermane and Urshifu is a very interesting lead from Arnie, just based off of the fact, like, they could have led with one Fake Out Mon and then also with the Roaring Moon.
And we see Taunt come out from the Fluttermane to make sure the Kyogre cannot go for Protect or for Calm Mind. Important to note, this Incineroar did not go for Fake Out onto the Urshifu. The Origin Pulse was chosen by Shane to go for. It connects onto the Fluttermane. It's going to do at minimum a half. That's a critical hit. It didn't even knock it out.
Yeah.
Knock on, though, finishes it off.
Great play there from Shane. I think Arnie playing a little scared with the Urshifu.
I mean, to be fair, Fake Out does scare everything.
Yeah.
And Raging Bolt's coming out next from Arnie.
Raging Bolt coming out now. Incineroar being threatened by this Urshifu with the close combat, but that Intimidate is going to allow it to survive. Raging Bolt is going to threaten the damage into the Kyogre, but Kyogre outspeeds.
I mean, at least it should, because Raging Bulls sometimes are trained to be faster than Kyogres. You know, they don't invest a whole lot into the speed stat, but yeah, you sometimes see different trainers do different things. We see Shane rock a Terra.
Yeah, Terrestrialization being played here by Shane Gaffney, and it's going to be the Terra Grass onto the Kyogre. So if they did go for Thunderclap or for a Thunderbolt, it's going to be minimal damage.
It's Wicked Blow first onto the Kyogre. Does over half damage thanks to that critical hit that it gets. It's Ice Beam into the Raging Bolt. Doesn't do half health. No freeze. Thunderbolt goes into the Incineroar, so it is going to get some damage up onto it. And Parting Shot's going to lower the attack output off the Raging Bolt and switch it out.
Yeah, great play there from Arnie. Makes you think, wait, are they Draco or Dragon Pulse?
It is indeed right here.
Draco Meteor.
Draco Meteor, whoa.
I'm wondering why they didn't go for the Draco into the Incineroar. Now we're going to see Amoonguss in a great position here, although the Urshifu is Safety Goggles, so it does have a free hit into the Kyogre.
Yes, it does. It's more so going to worry about the Raging Bolt. And another Wicked Blow comes out into the Kyogre, and Shane opting to not go for Rage Powder, knowing Kyogre's phase. And down goes the Terra, down goes the Restricted for Shane.
Yeah, I think Shane could go for the Spore if it survives this. Yeah,
it's Thunderbolt.
Thunderbolt. So no Draco Meteor once again from Arnie. Possibly gets a Para.
No, and there is the Spore under the Raging Bolt.
Yeah. So that's a very sleepy Bolt.
It is, and now Urshifu has to kind of do heavy lifting, as Shane's last really good piece of offensive Pokemon is Urshifu Rapid Strike.
Okay, really good here for Shane. Urshifu being Scarfed is going to outspeed the Urshifu single strike. Pick up the KO there.
Yeah, it should be able to knock it out with the rain, and if it doesn't KO, then that probably means that Arnie's trained his Urshifu to be really bulky.
Oh, that's also true. You can go for a close combat here if you're scared of what's in the back.
But also, Arnie is yet to Terra, so it could also just be Terra Poison to make sure close combat doesn't go there. I think Raging Bolt might have to stay in here just to make sure to take a sleep turn. I don't know what the Urshifu wants to do here, honestly.
Yeah.
Because Wicked Blow isn't really going to be beneficial to you, nor is close combat.
Ooh, okay, they locked in. Now, we're going to see a terrestrialization.
Oh, okay, never mind. RG's going to switch out the Raging Bolt into the Zamazenta. So it's going to get a Dauntless Shield boost, but it's going to get ignored by Surging Strikes in the rain. Important to know for later, Raging Bolt did not take a single turn of sleep. Post combat goes into the Urshifu. Does it knock it out? Yes, it does!
Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't see Terra Poison coming out from the Urshifu there. And switching into Zamazenta, I'm hoping that it doesn't get spored here. We haven't seen the Amoonguss move yet.
It's Sludge Bomb.
Okay, Sludge Bomb is going to not affect the Steel-type Zamazenta. So you get away with this turn for free. Just kind of worried about the next one because you do have a fairly healthy Amoonguss on the field that can go for a Spore, and you don't have the option of Protect because Urshifu,
We locked into close combat.
what's it called? Unseen Fist from the Urshifu is going to be able to go through Protect.
And now we see Arnie's Terra. We do know that Raging Bolt has not taken a single turn of sleep, so Zamazenta kind of forced to go for the Terra Dragon here.
Yeah, Terra Dragon coming out here. So Spore will be able to connect into the Zamazenta, but we will see possibly
Hit Rage Powder.
Okay, Rage Powder. So going for Body Press into the Amoonguss will still do decent amount of damage.
It's close combat onto the Raging Bolt. Not enough for the knockout, so Raging Bolt's still kind of just sitting there. And now, what did Arnie do here? Because, well, if it's Body Press, okay, it's Heavy Slam. It's going to do more damage. It's not going to do enough damage to knock it out in time.
No, and you're also taking a fairly good amount of damage from the Rocky Helmet. Now, that's a second turn of sleep for the Raging Bolt.
I think the Rage Powder is really only accounting for Thunderclap just in case Raging Bolt wakes up, because Thunderclap should knock out Urshifu in a hit.
Yeah.
But it's leaving Zamazenta, to do the heavy lifting, and another Rage Powder come out. It's really just trying to make sure Raging Bolt stays in check, just in case it wakes up in the single turn, which it won't even try to go for the Thunderclap.
Yeah, no Thunderclap from Arnie's Raging Bolt, and this is already a -4 or -3, one of the two. Urshifu. So if it would have got hit,
it was Body Press, so yeah.
that's not going to do
The question now is just because how much does a +1 defense close combat do to the Zamazenta at Terra Dragon? Because it's no longer super effective, it is now just neutral.
What? I don't think it would pick up the knockout for sure.
And if it doesn't, the Urshifu is pretty inclined to switch out at this position, or Amoonguss just going to switch out just to make sure he gets Regenerator recovery.
Yeah, Regenerator as well as intimidating the Zamazenta, so...
That's just really for Heavy Slam.
Yeah, the Heavy Slam is going to be doing less damage.
There's close combat onto the Zamazenta. Yeah, that's doing nothing, or at least negligible damage towards the Urshifu. It's now at minimum -3 attack. It goes to the Urshifu with the Body Press. It goes down to a single hit, so that Intimidate better count.
Yeah,
because Amoonguss is in a pretty good position to take 2 Heavy Slams. It won't take 2 Body Presses, but Shane can just click Will-O-Wisp and I think win the game from there.
yeah, Will-O-Wisp or Knockoff.
Or Fake Out, just to make sure. Just be honest.
Yeah, that works.
There's Protect.
Yeah, so of course we expected Arnie to go for the Protect there, but next turn you are pinned to the Rage Powder plus Will-O-Wisp plus Knockoff, one of the two plays.
Knockoff really isn't doing a lot of damage because you can't.
The shield is already used.
Yeah, not only that, but the Rusted Shield cannot be knocked off.
Yeah, the Rusted Shield.
And now
Weird endgame.
I still think the endgame is just you just click Spore into Zamazenta and just never moves for the rest of the game. Heavy Slam has to crit here. It doesn't crit. Another Rocky Helmet chip taken there for the Zamazenta. Knockoff going into the Zamazenta from the Incineroar. Another one will knock it out. 2 more actually knocks it out, and there's a Spore.
I think this Amoonguss by itself can just pick up the KO.
It might, and
Yeah, with the Sludge
the
Bomb.
Sludge Bomb comes out. Zamazenta takes the first turn of sleep that it has to mandatorily take. The Knockoff comes out from this Incineroar. Doesn't knock it out. And here's Sludge Bomb. It will knock it out. Shane Gaffney takes game 1.
Very commanding game there from Shane. One thing for sure is that this Scarf Water Urshifu Rapid Strike is a threat to all of Arnie's team. Your Pokemon aren't fast enough except for the Flutter Mane. Amoonguss gives trouble to most of your team. That's probably why Arnie slotted in the safety goggles into the Urshifu, just knowing that his team is weak to Amoonguss.
Yeah, and because the whole team was weak to Amoonguss, you know, it goes back to the whole why the Urshifu had the safety goggles in the first place, and it also just led to the decision of Shane being comfortable just letting Kyogre go.
Yeah.
Because by letting Kyogre go, you just allow Urshifu to just start spamming close combat without much issue. And so it's just like with the Flutter Mane getting knocked out turn 1 because you read a fake out wrong. What do you do if you're Arnie?
I do think that lead was fairly strong from Arnie. But you just have to make sure that like fake out isn't going to put you in a position where you lose a Pokemon. Where it was the Flutter Mane and the Urshifu, and fake out just caused the Urshifu to do nothing. Shane reading the Protect doubled into the Flutter.
Yeah, exactly. And because of that Detect being wasted from the turn 1 play from Arnie, you know, the Urshifu didn't have any momentum to go for. It didn't have much to do immediately because, well, it kind of just was going for Wicked Blow at Kyogre, which was great, but it didn't really solve the grand scheme of things.
Yeah. Alright, Shane taking his time to lock in his poor Pokemon.
Shane on the verge of winning his second gym challenge of 2025, and if he does that, he will be within he's already a top player here in the Southern California region, but he'll be among one of the best this season.
Yeah, for sure. With this new regulation, definitely Shane has been doing great. Did they run Kyogre the last time they won?
That was the Regulation H when they won the first time.
Oh, that Regulation H was their first win here.
Or at least their first win in 2025 here. Anyway, Raging Bull, Urshifu single strike from Arnie is the lead. Shane leading the ultra defensive lead of Incineroar and Amoonguss.
Yeah. Alright, now Intimidate going into the Urshifu and Fake Out. Once again, this Incineroar is proving to be a lot of trouble for Arnie.
Yeah, the Incineroar really just a full method of destruction, you know, knock off, gonna knock away the safety goggles or the Assault Vest from this Raging Bolt.
Does Arnie swap in as Amoonguss here?
It's possible. It could be coming into the Urshifu slot right here. It could be. It's Flutter Mane. It's Flutter Mane coming in here with the Photosynthesis proc with the booster energy.
Okay, I saw Shane lock into Spore. I'm not sure which slot it was.
Fake out into the Ghost type, unfortunately, so he did get the fake out call correctly
Draco?
here. It is. It
Draco
missed.
Meteor missed!
This is the Amoonguss, but where did the Spore land? It goes into the Raging Bolt, so who knows if that's acceptable.
Yeah, so now you have a Sleepy Bolt once again, and your opponent can really just go for a knockoff and a Spore.
Yeah, and if you go for a Spore into the Flutter Mane slot, then the only thing Arnie can really do is switch to Urshifu again, just to make sure the safety goggles doesn't the safety goggles saves itself and its partner. But Raging Bolt, once again in the same situation as last time, you know, Draco Meteor miss, unfortunate. But now Raging Bolt's got to wake up.
I'm also kind of convinced that without a multiplier, the Raging Bolt wasn't going to KO with Draco Meteor either.
Here's Urshifu coming in for the Raging Bolt. Once again, is going to switch out with 0 turns of sleep. Taunt goes into the Incineroar to make sure Will-O-Wisp or Parting Shot doesn't come out from this Incineroar. Who knows if that was actually the right thing to do here? It's knocked out and knock out the safety goggles. What's next for this Amoonguss? This is a Spore into that slot to read the Raging Bolt switch it? No, it's a Sludge Bomb. It connects to the Urshifu. It gets the poison.
And it gets the poison too, so that poison damage is going to be pivotal here for Shane. It allows possibly a Sludge Bomb or another knockoff to pick up the KO on this Urshifu. Now, Incineroar is taunted, so will not be able to pivot out with Parting Shot. It can only go for knockoff here.
And if you go for knockoff, it's not really doing much of anything because you got to re-switch it. I think it's more than likely Incineroar that switches out this turn, or if Shane really just wants to get any chip damage, however you can against the Flutter Mane, you know, that's acceptable as well. Shadow Ball comes out into the Amoonguss, so it's going to take some damage. It's not going to be a lot of it, you know, around 35%. Here's Wicked Blow. Not enough knock on the Amoonguss. It will take some Rocking Helmet damage.
Yeah. Arnie really needed that Amoonguss to go down because now your Flutter Mane gets knocked off and the Sludge Bomb does target into the Urshifu, picks up a crucial knockout, and now Arnie has Flutter Mane, one Mystery Pokemon, and one Sleeping Raging Bolt.
Yeah, and that Raging Bolt, once again, ladies and gentlemen, has not taken a turn of sleep. So, with that being said, Zamazenta is probably the last Pokemon that Arnie has to hope in order to keep his hopes of a championship alive.
Yeah.
But thankfully, there's still a one turn left.
Terrestrialization also has not been used
on either side.
Yeah, so Incineroar on Shane's side is Terra Ghost. So you really have to consider whether you want to pivot or go for the Will-O-Wisp, the Terra Ghost Will-O-Wisp right now.
You might have to, because Body Press is already threatening a lot of damage to Incineroar. Already threatens a one-hit knockout because of the stab, Body Press, and the +1 defense it's got. And without it, Incineroar is kind of sitting there unless it has to protect here or switch out. Amoonguss protects, however. So what does Zamazenta do here? Okay, first of all, Shadow Ball into the Incineroar just in case if it went for that Terra Ghost, which did not happen. It does Body Press the Amoonguss!
Oh no.
And the Incineroar is forced to go for another knockoff here, so it's going to get some more chip damage onto the Flutter Mane.
Still a lot of damage. One more knockoff will be able to do it. Also, Taunt being shaken off by the Incineroar could go for a parting shot here into the Zamazenta or a Will-O-Wisp. Yeah, Arnie is just in a really bad spot here. This Flutter Mane, even though it is a really offensive Pokemon, is not providing enough damage to both of these Pokemon with Moonblast or Shadow Ball into the Incineroar.
Not at all, and this Flutter Mane's in a really precarious spot because you can knock out the Amoonguss here, but there's also the threat of Amoonguss switching out for Regenerator. Also, the threat of Rage Powder, so it's going to come out here to make sure that the Taunt doesn't go into the Incineroar again for the Will-O-Wisp, which also doubles up into the Zamazenta not being able to knock it out. Shadow Ball does correctly call the Rage Powder, so down goes Amoonguss, and Body Press should be following up.
Yeah, alright, Body Press into the Incineroar should be able to pick up the one-hit knockout. Now, the two Pokemon that Shane has in the back is going to be very important, because if it is the Rapid Strike Urshifu, I think it can outvalue the Flutter Mane on Arnie's side of the field. Just pick up the KO there on the Flutter and target the Zamazenta next. Zamazenta also has to worry about Origin Pulse from the Kyogre, so do you opt to go for an offensive approach,
or do you go Terra Poison here to make sure you don't get knocked out by Moonblast? Because Moonblast is threatening a one-hit knockout on the Urshifu, and that's why Shane has a defensive Terra on it, which I think is more than worth it here.
Is Arnie's Flutter Mane photosynthesis boosted?
It's it's boosted right now.
Okay, it's boosted up,
so it is faster than the Urshifu at the very minimum.
Makes sense.
Or, no, Terra, unless the Kyogre doesn't take you anywhere right now. There's still a Raging Bolt in the back that hasn't taken a turn of sleep, so perhaps that's the end game for Arnie if he got the Urshifu here, but Shane's going to make sure Urshifu doesn't get knocked out immediately from the combination blow of Moonblast and Body Press with the Terra Poison.
Alright, Terra Poison. One of the coolest Terras, too. I love that hat.
See what happens here. Terrestrialization from Arnie as well.
Terrestrialization on both sides. It's a Terrestrialization party. Now, Zamazenta turning into a Dragon type. Let's see what happens here.
It's susceptible to Ice Beam now, but it is resistant to the Origin Pulse now. Moonblast doesn't even go after the Urshifu here, and Surging Strike is going to one-tap the Flutter Mane.
Do we think that Moonblast put Kyogre in range for this Body Press to KO?
Who knows if that's actually where it went, and we're going to see what's going to happen this turn. Is Body Press into the Kyogre? Is it enough? No!
It's not enough.
And Origin Pulse missed!
Okay, the Origin Pulse miss is big there. Now, it gives another opportunity for this Zamazenta to target into either the Urshifu with Heavy Slam or into the Kyogre.
And here's the other part. Raging Bolt comes back in here at full HP. Is going to be resistant to that Surging Strike still to against these two dragons. The problem still is Raging Bolt's taking 0 turns to sleep. So this Surging Strike's, not doing a whole lot to Zamazenta. Okay, I don't know what's going on over here.
It looks like a 4-hit KO into the Zamazenta if you want to continue going for Surging Strikes. I think this is going to be the...
Yeah, okay, Kyber goes down. Okay, so Zamazenta Raging Bolt versus Urshifu.
Yeah, this is going to be the first turn of...
Sleep, yes it is.
Sleep. There it is. First turn of Sleep. Now, not the best position here for Shane because, yeah, Thunderclap isn't going to 1-hit KO, but you're also looking at possibly a 3-hit KO into the Zamazenta.
Yeah, and look how little damage the Surging Strike's doing to each of these dragon types.
Yeah, I think you need 2 more, and then maybe that's still a roll after that. So Zamazenta is going to have at least 2 opportunities to go for a Heavy Slam. Heavy Slam comes out and does almost half.
Another turn of sleep.
Who's HP.
Another turn of sleep from the Raging Bolt, unfortunately. So that's 2 now. Heavy Slam should be 2-hit KOing Urshifu from this range. Another Surging Strikes into the Zamazenta. I still think this is Arnie's game to lose because even if Zamazenta is knocked out, the bigger issue is that you're not doing enough damage to everything.
Yeah.
And that just leaves the Raging Bolt still at full HP.
With Thunderclap too, so...
Body press comes out into the resisted hit. It's not enough to knock it out. Raging Bolt takes a 3rd turn of sleep.
Okay.
So it has to wake up now.
All right, Raging Bolt. Wake up and take this knockout to bring us to a Game 3 in this finals between Shane Gaffney and Arnie Wolf.
There it is. Thunderclap comes out. There's Game 3.
Thunderclaps.
How many Game 3s have we had today? I think we had like 5.
Game 3s?
On stream.
Yeah. Well, first of all, we live in a very competitive region where, like, anyone can take a game off of anyone here. But also, once you get further into the bracket, it makes sense.
And now, okay, so I'm trying to think how Shane ended up losing that game because props to Arnie for taunting Incineroar very early on.
Yeah, Shane actually went for Rage Powder instead of Sludge Bomb, and that's what lost them because they're expecting taunt.
I mean, to be fair, Spore is a huge issue for Arnie. You know, you have one Pokemon that 2 Pokemon that are naturally immune to Spore thanks to a Safety Goggles and Grass typing. One means Terra Grass for that, but at the same time,
this is going to be the last 4 Pokemon that each of these trainers will use in this tournament today. These are going to be the last 4 Pokemon, so they have to count.
Yes, they do. A lot of money on the line, a lot of price packs on the line, even SoCal Glory on the line.
Oh yeah, you want those extra price packs too. Don't even lie.
Anyway.
No, but I think most importantly, you do want the points, the CP, as well as just that, like, feeling of winning. That feeling of winning a video game challenge. Knowing that your 6 Pokemon were triumphant against every other team.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And let's see how this final game tonight at Cycling Center Place turns out. This is the absolute last game. A champion must be declared. Will it be Shane Gaffney for a 2nd time in 2025, or will it be Arnie Wolf's first title for the season?
Yeah. I don't know. These are 2 really, really good trainers. We're just going to allow their gameplay
to speak for themselves.
To tell the story for everyone else to know later on.
It's Urshifu, Single Strike, and Raging Bolt for Arnie. It's Shane leading with the Incineroar and the Kyogre.
Alright. So, Incineroar being led all 3 games here from Shane, showing that it's a pivotal piece in his 6.
In his team of 6.
Yeah, in his team of 6. Now, same 2 Mons in the back.
Well, Urshifu obviously is a really good Pokemon to a lot of Arnie's team. You know, Raging Bolt and Moon are the exceptions, but if you can hit everything else for heavy damage in the rain, especially since you have that Sway Scarf, you happily take it. And here comes the Terra immediately from Shane.
Yeah, early Terrastalization, kind of being forced to Terrastalize here, especially with Raging Bolt. Even though you do have Fake Out, you are more worried about the damage coming out from the Urshifu. So I think you target the Urshifu with the fake out.
Detect!
Yeah, and that's why Arnie detects here, but also this Raging Bolt isn't going to be doing enough.
That's a fake out into the Urshifu. Already got it right this time.
Yes.
And Kyogre goes for a raw Origin Bolt, which shouldn't be doing very minimal damage to the Kyogre, to the Raging Bolt, excuse me. Yeah, that's not doing anything.
I'm surprised that Shane...
And Snarl comes out of the -1 special attack side from the Kyogre.
I'm surprised that Shane went for Origin Pulse and not Ice Beam into the Raging Bolt.
That shows to tell you that Shane targeted the Urshifu this turn.
Yeah, really expecting the Urshifu to go on the offensive, but a great detect, going to keep the Urshifu healthy. Now, what do you do next?
That's the thing, because Shane's Kyogre, I think, is already in check, because without the Calm Mind boost that Shane has not even clicked this whole entire set, because I don't think he really had time to do so.
Yeah.
Kyogre's going to be doing less damage. Yes, it's getting leftovers recovery, but you're not really worried about it, so you're just free to launch wicked blows into that side, and that's a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Origin Bolt comes out again at -1 special attack. It doesn't do anything to Raging Bolt. Urshifu survives pretty comfortably. Here's Thunderbolt into the Incineroar, and is Will-O-Wisp onto the Urshifu.
Okay, though, but once again, the Incineroar connecting Will-O-Wisp. It's connected every single important Will-O-Wisp. I don't know how Shane's games went on during Swiss, but as of right now, this Incineroar is pulling its weight. Gonna take some burn damage on that Urshifu. Very low HP. Now, I don't think Close Combat will be able to pick up the Incineroar from that range.
Not at -1 and not with the burn.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, there's no way, unless it crits.
Well, you can Wicked Blow crit it if you. I mean, you can't. You can't Terra Ghost anymore. You Terra Grassed already.
It's not going to be doing enough.
Although, I think a Wicked Blow no longer KOs the Kyogre with the burn. But Shane not going to take a chance on that and swap it out.
Let's not get too ahead of ourselves here.
Here's the Mungus.
There is still a Raging Bolt ready to do big damage. Close Combat going out into the Incineroar.
That's still good damage.
Yeah. 30 hit points left on the Incin. Now we're going to see, where does the Raging Bolt...
Draco Meteor missed again!
Draco Meteor missed once again. That's the second Draco in this set for Arnie.
That's 2 it went for and 2 it missed, and now it's taking a special attack drop and a switch out.
Yeah. Unfortunate. It feels like Arnie was really in a strong position until the Draco came out. I was kind of surprised that he went for Draco instead of Thunderbolt into the Incin.
Yeah, I am too, and that's more so because I think Arnie expected the Incineroar to switch out or just do a whole nothing burger of a turn.
Okay.
Meaning there was a chance that Amoonguss could take a heavy damage here, but instead, it's a U-turn going into the Raging Bolt, putting it under half HP. Is Amoonguss definitely click Spore onto the Raging Bolt, or it went for Sludge Bomb with the Urshifu to finish it off. The U-turn is going to put the Urshifu down with a -2 attack with the Intimidate, and Incineroar, depending on whether or not Arnie went after the Urshifu slot, might be in the sacrificial range.
Yeah, Incineroar making an appearance. Once again, one turn later, just to make sure to get that Intimidate onto the Urshifu. Urshifu knocks itself out. No, it doesn't.
Draco Meteor lands this time on the Amoonguss. It's not doing a lot of damage.
It's not enough. That's a very special defensively EV'd Amoonguss, as well as the parting shot, putting the Raging Bolt at -1. Now it's a -3 Raging Bolt. It's asleep, and the Urshifu goes down this turn. So a lot of resources being lost there from Arnie.
However, it's not all lost, because Arnie still has 2 fresh Pokemon in the back that Shane's yet to know of, one of them being that Flutter Mane.
I do think that Shane's board state right now is very passive. If it wasn't for the Raging Bolt being asleep, I would think it's a very bad position to be in. But this no turns taken from Raging Bolt's sleep yet. Flutter Mane doesn't have Dazzling Gleam either, so it's not going to be able to pick up the double knockout.
Unless, of course, Icy Wind wouldn't even pick up the Amoonguss knockout. I don't even think so either.
No.
Shadow Ball picks it up, though, so that's a positive. And okay, Raging Bolt once again switching out. 3rd game in a row with 0 turns of sleep. Zamazenta, the final Pokemon for Arnie.
Okay, Arnie's last resort is going to be his restricted Zamazenta, where, alright, Amoonguss goes for a Protect, so if he targets into this Incineroar.
What did it? It's a taunt into the Amoonguss, unfortunately.
Unfortunate.
What did the Incineroar do here this turn? Did it click Will-O-Wisp? Did it click Knockoff? It's Parting Shot onto the Flutter Mane.
That makes a lot of sense. Parting Shot into the Flutter Mane just to mitigate the special attack from Moonblast and Shadow Ball. Shane now has a free pivot into probably the Urshifu being able to outspeed the... Wait, no.
It's still underspeeding.
It's still underspeeding.
But it is outspeeded to the Zamazenta right now, which probably forces a Terra Dragon onto the Zamazenta.
And it also does have a free Rage Powder Surging Strikes into the Flutter Mane. Yep.
And you switch into the Kyogre here because the rain just recently got away. And not only that, you get Regenerator recovery.
It feels bad. You can't switch out the Flutter Mane here because then it loses its Photosynthesis. And if it comes in later, it will still be slower than the Urshifu.
Yeah, that's the beauty of the Choice Scarf. It multiplies this Pokemon speed by 1.5, meaning it's faster than mostly everything that is trained to specifically do so, which a lot of trainers currently are using that Choice Scarf to outspeed Timid, Max Speed, Calyrex Shadow Rider.
Arnie still has Terrassalization, though.
I believe he's going to use it this turn on the Zamazenta.
Yeah, you definitely want to mitigate the amount of damage that you take from the Urshifu, but no Rage Powder. It's actually going to be a swap into the Kyogre. I don't know if that was the right play, because if Arnie went offensive here, you might lose both Pokemon.
I think the thoughts that... Oh, never mind, a Terra Grass on the Flutter Mane. Hold on a minute.
Oh, Terra Grass on the Flutter Mane.
I was about to point out that maybe Arnie's Flutter is specifically trained to live a Surging Strikes without the rain. And that's why Moonblast is going to come out into the Urshifu. Yes, you don't knock it out, but that's well within range of a Body Press. Surging Strikes is not going to knock out the Flutter Mane thanks to the Terra Grass.
Arnie is in a great position, reading the Surging Strikes going into the Flutter Mane. It seemed like it was Shane's way to victory, and Arnie recognized that, counterplayed it. Now you still have a fairly healthy Flutter Mane. Heavy Slam going into the Kyogre, but it doesn't matter because Zamazenta will outspeed the Kyogre next turn, and actually both of Arnie's Pokemon will outspeed, and I don't think a Aqua Jet... Oh, it's locked into Surging Strikes anyways, but Aqua Jet wouldn't pick up the Flutter Mane from that range.
No, it wouldn't. And going back to what I was going to tell you about the whole Kyogre switch skin for the Amoonguss, I would have thought that Arnie's Flutter Mane would be trained specifically to live a Surging Strike without a rain. So the Kyogre swap it made sense to make sure that the rain boosted the Surging Strikes enough to knock it out, because a lot of Flutter Mane are pretty bulky to survive certain hits. But its physical defense is still as pitiful as it is, and the Terra Grass is a great read from Arnie to make sure you not only survive the Surging Strikes, but you get damage onto the Urshifu, and now you consistently can knock out any of these Pokemon except for the Amoonguss.
Yeah, so a couple turns ago I was like, oh yeah, that's a Rage Powder into Surging Strikes into the Flutter Mane, but I didn't put into account that the Flutter Mane can Terra Grass, ignore the Rage Powder, and just go straight into the Urshifu. Now, Shane swapping in the Incineroar, just trying to get some Intimidate into the Zamazenta. Now Moonblast comes out and it picks up the KO on the Incineroar. I would imagine a Body Press or a Heavy Slam into the Kyogre.
His Body Press, down goes Kyogre, and Shane's down to just an Amoonguss and an Urshifu.
Yeah.
The only good news Shane has is that he can reset his move on the Urshifu, but the bad news is I don't know which one you lock into.
Probably close combat here. Or Surging Strikes, because it will KO the
Flutter Mane now.
The Flutter Mane next turn. Only thing is, this Flutter Mane is faster than your Urshifu and ignores your Amoonguss. So, I don't know, man. I'm thinking that this is just GG's here for Shane, unless there's something that I don't see.
Yeah, it's just going to come down to what Arnie does here. Arnie in a great position to go ahead and win the tournament.
This is Arnie's game to throw right now, basically.
It just depends on what this Urshifu does here, because you're obviously underspeeding. So the obvious thing to do here is to Moonblast the Urshifu, knock that out, and now it's Zamazenta versus Amoonguss versus the world, actually, and that is indeed what's going to happen. It's Amoonguss versus the world, and it cannot touch the Zamazenta with Sludge Bomb, and that's its only attack.
Yeah, it could only go for Spore into it and Body Press. Even though Amoonguss does have Rocky Helmet, Amoonguss is has a lower HP than the Zamazenta. Sludge Bomb going into the Flutter Mane. Now it's Zamazenta versus Amoonguss in the end game.
There's a Raging Bull in the back as well.
It's a sleepy one though.
But it still won't matter, because if you look again, this thing does not have any way to touch Zamazenta, so I believe Arnie is on the cusp of winning his first tournament in 2025.
You're so right. Even if you put it to sleep, you can't damage it.
And that's it! Arnie Wolf, your champion for January 2025 of the 18th, and returns to the championship glory.
Wow. What a tournament run from Arnie Wolf. And let's just give a round of applause for both trainers. Shane Gaffney played amazing. had a really cool team and piloted it to a top level, but only one person can win, and Arnie, with his amazing plays, made it through.
Who would have thought Terra Grass Fluttermane would actually come up right there? Because it goes back to the point of, if you don't Terra the Fluttermane, and because of the Kyogre swap, it was going to go down.
Yeah, I know recently a lot of Flutters have been either like Terra Normal or the classic Terra Fairy. Terra Grass actually is a really strong Terra type on Fluttermane because Amoonguss being able to Rage Powder is very annoying. You just want to get your Moonblast off, get your Shadow Ball off, and Amoonguss is there to ruin the party.
Ah, yeah, absolutely. And speaking of parties, this is the end of the tournament here of Winter Challenge number 2. Congratulations to Arnie Wolf for winning this Regulation G tournament. And for those of you that want to stick around on Twitch, stay tuned because Super Smash Saturday is coming up next.
All right, see y'all.